Welcome to the Wrench and Ramble Show with your host, Shawn and Kirk. Hey, everybody, we're live, and this is episode 4. It's hard to believe we've done 4 episodes, or I guess we haven't done 4. We've done 3, and we're on the 4th episode. How you doing tonight, Shawn?
Good. How about you?
Just peachy. Doing great. Actually, I decided to take I put new relays in the Jaguar and went out and tried driving it, and ended up walking several miles today.
I
Well,
was gonna say your head looks like it's a little bit shiny from that sweat dripping down.
I think so. It's been all kinds of fun here, but anyway, so what do you got going on this week here? Is there anything new to share that just kind of some things before we get started with the videos tonight? Any thoughts or any news stories?
Well, getting into October, I'll start spading trees again at the nursery. Probably, I don't know, 3rd week in October, 4th week in October. Really depends on the temperatures. So I like doing that, and then of course firewood season's coming up here too. So hopefully the temperatures start dropping where we're at, so we can get some guys into the shop and get their chainsaws fixed. I mean, I've had quite a few repairs this past week, a lot of chainsaw stuff. I mean, most of you guys have seen the videos. 500i's had 3 of those with the top end rebuilds on those and a bunch of other stuff. So chainsaw season is almost upon us. That's going to be the next week in a nutshell.
That's great. Okay. So, is there any new products to talk about tonight, or?
I got that video of that 100th anniversary Centennial saw. I don't know if you guys saw the videos that I did on that, but we'll show that video again just of the saw so that you guys can check it out. It's actually a modified MS500i. I'm not exactly sure on all the specs on it, so as of right now, a lot of it's just cosmetics. I don't know if they're doing anything inside. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet looking saw if you guys haven't seen it already, but we'll show you that here shortly. That's new products. I'm not really sure what else they're doing. They're pretty tight-lipped on everything anytime they bring out a new product. So
Yeah.
You gonna jump into a video?
Yeah, I just jumped in. This is the saw, right?
Yeah.
I have to go kind of slow with it because it's...
Yeah, there's literally no footage or no anything on the saw out there. So it's a 100-year anniversary bar on there, and you can see the black cases on it. Your sights are orange instead of black. The handle's black. Normally that's like their steel gray color. You got the plastic air cover that is the, I don't know, gray metallic color with the black stripes on it. So it looks pretty nice.
A pretty cool saw.
I guess the price point's going to be around $2,000 on it. But yeah, like I said, there's really no information out there on it. This is pretty much it. Everybody's really tight-lipped on it. So, yeah, I made a video with what I could get my hands on, but nobody's saying anything. So you guys are seeing everything that I know right now. As soon as I can get my hands on one, I'll let you know. But from what I hear, they're going to be serial numbered. So it's going to be a limited run of these. And as far as the distribution goes, they haven't said how many each dealership's going to get. So Steel's broke down in America into different territories. I'm not sure how they are around the world. But each territory is basically going to get a certain number of these. And they get to split them up however they see fit throughout the territory. Which means if, employees want them, or dealers that sell a ton of stuff, these, farm and fleet stores type things, those guys are probably going to get them. And when it trickles down to small dealers, I highly doubt we're going to be able to get our hands on this stuff, just because the limited availability. And I know how things went with the release of the 500i's when they first came out. it took almost 2 years by the time they were released till we got our hands on them where I'm at, which I thought was sort of a joke, but that's how they roll with stuff. So, yeah.
Right. Shall we go ahead and jump into another?
Yeah, drop the next video.
Okay.
So we'll give him an E for effort and a C for crazy. Because I mean, this could go several different ways. That log weighs a lot more than people think. I mean, you could break an axle, you could bust the side door off. I mean, it could roll back and hit the operator. So, not a super smart way to do it, but I guess if you don't have the equipment to get the log up into the trailer and you don't want to chunk it out, that's one way to do it. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I actually I was just kind of watching that. And I'm like, well, that's pretty gutsy to go in there. And then I as he was cutting it, I'm thinking about how much weight he's putting in that trailer.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I mean, it looks like a dump trailer, it looks like a tandem axle dump trailer, but still dropping that kind of weight, that's a lot for one big heavy hit.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me. I know it's not a Saw story, but I was doing a condo estate, and this guy had a big bank vault that was on cast iron wheels at this estate, and I had sold the vault or the safe, and this thing was a monster. It was like probably 4 or 5 feet tall, and it was a cube, so it's super heavy. And this guy buys it. He shows up with a utility trailer with a wood deck in it, and it's got little wheels on there. No, it's like for a lawnmower or something. And I'm like, dude, you're not putting it on that trailer. And he goes, yeah, I am. I just have to go to one county over. And I'm like, there's no way. And he rolls it up, and the trailer's kind of bowing over the wheels on each end. And he took off. He went down the street. I'm sure that trailer did not make it home. That safe had to end up on the road.
Yeah, so at the nursery we sell, rock products and stuff, and people will come out, with these tiny trucks, a Ford Ranger, something like that, and they'll want a scoop or two of, river rock, and it's like, there's no way that truck is going to eat more than half of a scoop, and that's pushing it. Once I start dumping that rock and it starts sagging, I mean, they start to freak out, and it's like, okay, it's not going to hold that much. But man, if they go to the quarry and those guys have like I don't know, what are they, like 8-ton scoop or something? They start dumping it on a truck. You're pretty much screwed, because by the time they stop, you're going to have another half a ton in your truck.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's great. I wonder if at the quarry whether they would even do that. I don't think they do that. They probably know better.
Oh, they do it. Like,
Really?
yeah, you just got to find somebody that is intelligent about how they dump. I mean, from what I hear, they have scales on their buckets, so they know how much they're dropping and how fast. But those little dinky trucks do not have the suspension to hold that stuff.
No. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So I got a question for you here. I'm reading that Husqvarna is moving into fuel injection and higher end battery tech. And Steel is pushing the battery production on all the new tools. So, is that true, or is that what do you think about that?
Well, Husqvarna is coming out with a 564 XP chainsaw, so that might be released this fall in America. Otherwise, probably first part of next year. Battery powered. It's sort of getting force fed down our throats. there's certain battery products that I like. Like I like the GTA 26, the GTA 40, little handheld chainsaws. Those have a purpose. I mean that the MSA 300 chainsaw on steel side, it's a good saw, but let's be realistic. That saw is over $900 now. If you get a backpack blower, that's $1,000, and that's just the bare unit. Then you got to buy a charger. Those are 75 or so up to $200. And then the batteries, if you get the biggest batteries, they're over 500. And then the backpack blower takes two of them to run. So you've got almost probably close to $2,400 in a backpack blower that's battery powered, and you got $1,500 or better in a chainsaw that's battery powered. Now let's look at the comparables. I can get the biggest gas powered blower that they have and be around $600. So I can buy three of those for the same price as the battery powered. And then even on the chainsaws, I can buy almost three chainsaws with the equivalent CCs and horsepower for the same price as the battery. So what motivation is there for me to buy the battery stuff? Because I could take one and run it until it craps out. Then I got a brand new one in the box, run that till it craps out, and I still got another one brand new in the box.
So with the battery power on the professional equipment, how long does that last comparatively versus um, the, versus a gas powered unit?
Well, there's variables to batteries. So you have the piece of equipment, then you have to have there's on each line right now there's basically three batteries. So if you're in the AK on steel, it's AK 10, 20, 30. AP is AP 100. I don't know. I don't even sell those. So I don't even know if they make those anymore. But the 200, the 300, and then the 500. And then basically as you're going up in battery, it's gaining more cells and more runtime. But the big kicker with battery is it's based off of continuous runtime. So what's continuous runtime? If you had your hand on the trigger the whole time, that's how long it's supposed to last. So, I mean, that's subjective too, because if you're cutting a big log versus a small stick, it's going to drain the battery more. If you're using a dull chain, it's going to cut the battery more. So you got all those different variables in there. And I would say just a general rule of thumb, probably if you're doing like full operations on any given piece of equipment with the biggest battery, you're probably 20 minutes maybe to 30 minutes with the battery. Gas, I don't know, probably about the same for a tank of gas. But gas, I can have that gas tank filled up in about 15 seconds. The battery, even with the quick charger, is still going to take me probably close to 45 minutes.
And then you probably have to have just not the batteries that you just have on the saw. You're going to have extra batteries to keep on going and rotate through.
Yep.
But
And then, for a homeowner, it's probably fine. But let's face it, if you own a business, do you think your employees are going to take care of the batteries? Or do you think they're going to leave them in the back of the truck and then, oops, it rained on them, or oops, it snowed on them, or oops, we left them at the job site, or, oops, we ran them over? I mean, that's what's going to happen. And if you got a $500 some battery, you're not going to be a happy camper as a business owner if these guys are leaving them or trashing them. A can of gas, you leave a 5-gallon gas can, how much are you out? $20?
so do you think that the market is going to go all battery and that you will not be able to get gas powered saws in the near future?
Well, if you have states like California where they want to ban gas powered stuff, they'll make it mandate. So that's what they did. If it's under a certain CCs, you can't sell it out there anymore as of January 2024, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the manufacturer's date. So if it was made previous to January 2024, you can still sell it, but if it's made after, you can't. I know there's other states that are pushing it. I think Minnesota is one of those. I've heard of some other states that are doing it now, but yeah, it just really depends. There is no replacement for gas powered. I mean, the bigger units, there just isn't a battery equivalent. And with the price point, people are not going to be jumping on board with the battery anytime soon. I mean, the homeowner stuff they are, because homeowners, their price point is a lot different than commercial grade stuff.
So, do you see a refurbished market coming out?
Honestly, batteries, with the price points under $500, they're pretty much throwaways if they don't work.
No, I mean on the gas powered. In order to, if you already have your equipment, you already have the gas powered units. Then, does California do all the companies have to stop using gas powered?
I don't think they can stop anybody from using it. They can just regulate the sales of it. Because, I mean, if you bought something legally within the state, you're just going to keep running it. What are they going to do? Come arrest you for running your gas powered leaf blower at your house?
You never know with California.
Yeah, they're a little nuts out there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I guess they could mandate whatever they wanted to, but are people going to listen to it? Probably not. If I'm gonna go cut a tree down, like a decent sized tree, I'm not gonna go hop, skip, and jump to my battery powered saw. There's a time and a place. Like I said, the little GTAs work perfect. Like I use them at the nursery all the time, trimming branches and stuff, where I'm not gonna drag on a big gas powered saw. But if I'm actually gonna cut trees and logs and stuff like that, I'm not gonna go run for a battery powered saw. I'm just not gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think most guys feel the same way. I mean, that's just what I see as my customer base. I do not sell my commercial guys battery powered. They're just not interested. The appetite's not there. The only people buying the battery powered stuff are like your entry level homeowners, younger people, and then every once in a while you'll get some older guys that can't physically do the gas powered start anymore, pulling on the recoils, and they're just doing it, switching over to battery because they want to still be able to cut wood and stuff, and not have to give it up completely, which I don't blame them. If you can still cut and you're using battery, then I would do it.
Okay. Carlos is in LA, and he says that they can still buy new gas chainsaws unless they're already in inventory at dealers where the prohibition took effect.
Yeah, so all that stuff is based on the manufacture date of the equipment. I know Steel was ramping up production, so that way they had units that were manufactured before that went into effect. So, like I said, January 2024, whatever the cutoff date was, if it was manufactured before then and Steel has a 5-year inventory, then they could literally keep selling those saws until they depleted their inventory because they were manufactured before the date.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my understanding of how it works.
Yeah, and Carlos just added that it's hard to get parts, and he has to go outside of the state to get parts.
Yeah, because parts, I mean, if you're a dealer and you don't sell the unit, are you going to want to stock parts for something that you can't sell anymore? That doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're selling, battery powered stuff, you're going to inventory parts for the stuff you can sell. It's just like anything else.
So, with like steel, you have to go into the dealership to get the parts, technically.
Yeah, and honestly, you can go on eBay or Amazon and find a lot of the stuff. Most of the stuff is either at dealer cost for retail, or it's probably maybe within 20% more of what retail is. There's people selling on there all the time. You can find most of the parts on eBay if you know the part numbers and stuff. Every once in a while, if it's like a very specific part, like a certain type of nut or plastic molding, you might not find it and you might have to go to a dealer. But for most stuff, you can source it on eBay if you need to. So I would try that if you don't have a dealer near you. Just go on eBay, because technically Steel won't let dealers sell the parts, but somehow all these people are getting around it, selling on eBay and Amazon, and they're not really policing that and stopping it. So I mean, take advantage of it, I guess, if you can't get parts where you live.
All right. Should we check out the next video here, the baseball?
Yeah, go for it.
The bench, he waved everybody to make sure everybody, tell everybody he was okay.
See it. This is his. It's just not good. It was just,
Yeah, he made sure though as he was driving by the bench, he waved everybody to make sure everybody, tell everybody he was okay, or as okay as he can be right now.
Well, you could.
Yeah, think how bad that hurt, just getting drilled in the face. It's not really the pitcher's fault. I mean, the guy was going in for a bunt, and he just didn't connect with the bat. I mean, that's really his bad.
Yeah.
But that would hurt like something else.
Yep. I think the pitcher, I think he hurt just as bad there walking away from it. He was feeling pain.
You got that pause. It almost looks like he's got blood all over his face too. I mean, if that caught his nose, he's probably bleeding like crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
It'd, like shatter your cheekbone as fast as that ball is going.
Yeah.
See it. This is his. It's just not good. It was just,
Yeah, he made sure though as he was driving by the bench, he waved everybody to make sure everybody, tell everybody he was okay,
It almost looked like
or as okay as he can be right now.
well, you could see it.
You can tell the pitcher felt bad about it.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Okay. Yeah, and Jeff's commenting on the that's how the state will choke the gas stuff off, run the prices for parts through the roof. Yep. I would agree. And
Yeah, parts right now are ridiculous. Let's be honest. If let's take an air filter for example. I mean, let's say an air filter is like $15 steel. I mean, you could find an aftermarket equivalent that is going to be the same caliper. The plastic you might have to modify a little bit. Sometimes those aren't molded just perfect where they fit, but you can probably buy those for a couple bucks. So there's a huge markup in parts, but don't look at the dealer to blame. It's basically the manufacturers of all this equipment. They think they have a monopoly, and they all do it, and they jack the prices up to this ridiculous level. And I mean, the consumers are the ones paying for it. It costs us a lot of money to hold inventory on that stuff too, because they're expensive parts.
so I was reading here too that the CEO of Husqvarna is stepping aside, and that they aren't they are having financial pressures at Husqvarna.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, they have different divisions and different presidents, and it really depends on which division. They have different people in charge of different markets and stuff. I mean, the European market's different than the United States market and vice versa, but I don't know. I can tell you all sorts of stories being a dealer and stuff, and there's a lot of dysfunction when you get into these companies. Steel, I'll tell you, they are very good at what they do, very organized. Husqvarna, you guys have seen the video that I made about that saw that they wouldn't warranty. They finally swung back around a couple months ago and did make it right, but that was after me literally complaining to every single Husqvarna employee that I had talked to for anything, whether it be an accounting department, parts department, anybody. I would always tell them the story of how Husqvarna screwed me on that saw. And then finally they got tired of me pushing their buttons and complaining about it, and they finally brought me a replacement saw so I could make it right for the customer. But yeah, that was about a year later, just so you know.
Wow.
They were really on top of that. So the squeaky wheel does get oiled if you squeak loud enough and long enough. I think the long enough, I didn't really have to get super loud. I was just like that consistent pinging in their ear, and then eventually they got tired of dealing with it, so they finally gave it to me to shut me up. I wasn't even asking for a new saw. I just wanted to be paid for the work that I put into the other one.
Wow. All right, let's hit another video here.
So that's a topiary. basically topiary is pruning a shrub to give it some character and definition like that. I always, when I had the landscape business, I always enjoyed doing topiary stuff. It was always fun to reshape that stuff and see what the design was. But yeah, I thought it was a fun video.
Is that a lot of maintenance required to maintain that, or
if you want it to look nice and sharp like that, you should probably prune it maybe once a month, every other month, just to keep all the little stragglers and keep it nice and tight. Because if you're taking just a little bit off at a time, then it really grows nice and thick like that, and then it doesn't really get woody when you prune it back. It's when people have topiaries and they just let them overgrow, and then you try to reshape them, and they just look really rough. So topiaries, like if you go to Disneyland, they have a lot of topiary stuff down there, different figures and animals and stuff. That's been pruned like crazy for decades, but it looks really sweet when they do it.
So if you let it get out of control, there's no coming back from it then?
I mean, you can reshape it, but once, like evergreens, once you get to the point where it's too big, it's going to be woody when you cut it off. If you're basically the evergreens, what the sun sees is what's going to be green. So if you dig in, 6 inches, you're going to have some really thin areas where it might not even have any foliage, and that just doesn't fill in right.
Okay. Let's go with the next one here. Just so you all know, this is the Wrench and Ramble. This is the live video table that we did just for the show.
Yeah.
And, like the got some graffiti on there.
That's actually my old computer desk in my office, and I needed a table for outside, and part of it was broke, so I'm like, I'm just going to use this. And that red paint on there, if you guys go back last year when I did that mono chainsaw rebuild, that old vintage saw, I painted it on that table. That's why it's red. So now you know. Yeah, this is the calibration video for the 500i chainsaw. I've been looking around, and there's really not a whole lot of information out there, and I was doing it when I got one of them rebuilt the other day, so I was like, well, maybe I should make a video. So I do have a long form video of this coming out where I'll show you guys on my computer screen how I do everything, and take you through all the steps of what I have to do on these machines. But I wanted you guys to see how that process is. It's really simple. You basically let the saw idle for 45 seconds. Seal says between 30 and 60. But if you don't hit that 30-second mark, it's not going to work. And if you go over 60 seconds, it's not going to work. So I do it at 45, so I know it's right in the middle. And then once it idles that long, then you do full throttle on it. And then if you listen to the video, it all of a sudden peaks and RPMs, goes up really high and screams, and then it'll run like that for a few seconds, and then it drops down and it's really low, and as soon as it drops, you take your finger off the throttle like I did, and then that calibrates it, and then you let it idle out, and then when it's done idling, then the calibration's complete, and that's all you have to do with these saws. But yeah, there's not many videos out there that show you how to do it, so I wanted to make one, and I'll have that long form video that you guys can use as a reference. I know you can't get the MDG1 if you're not a dealer, but at least you can see on this calibration how to do it.
It's great. Jeff says that calibration video was very informative and looking forward to the longer video. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of guys that work on these that aren't steel dealers, and they need to be able to know how to do this if they're working on them, if they have to recalibrate them and stuff. So I'm trying to do what I can to help you guys out and show you how it's done.
All right, let's jump into another one.
Шинки. Щось воно
Не то, да?
не бачимо смисла вже. Начебто. Ну а собі купити таку машинку. Може відштукатурити і
So this particular saw, I've never seen it before. It happened to show up on my feed when I was scrolling through. So if any guys know what it is, let me know. I'm just curious. I thought it was interesting. The handle set up on there and stuff. I didn't even know something like this existed, but it's a real deal. It's just not something I've ever seen before. It's like a trimmer and a chainsaw had a kid.
Scorpion peppers, ghost peppers, super hot pepper powders, and spices. These are the internal damnation pickles, the hottest ones yet. TexasHotStuff.com. I don't think you can get these yet.
So this guy eats hot stuff. So people send him hot peppers, hot food, all sorts of stuff, and then he eats it live on his videos. So it's really fun to watch because like his channel is called Craven Capsation. So if you know anything about that, they have like the Scoville rating on how hot something is, and he takes it as hot as he can get it. And man, there's no way I could even come close. It's just funny to watch this video. I know I did a video last week of a different guy, but this guy's really interesting. So I watch his channel. He's got lots of cool videos on there.
Got gloves on. I don't want to get this stuff on my skin. If you get it on your hands, you don't want to accidentally rub your eyes or go to the bathroom. I can't even open it. So while I'm struggling with this bag, let me just tell you how hot these pickles actually are. I went outside in the cool weather after this video. I was very close to a 10. I walked in circles for a little bit, questioning my life choices. Okay, that took forever. Yeah, that was dumb. Let's see.
I'm just sure those would taste nasty. I don't see any way that would taste good.
Oh, there's a ton of juice in here too. I can tell right now. Oh wow! I don't want to drink this juice, but if I don't taste it, I'm gonna catch a lot of hate. So I can tell these are hotter than the death pickles. I'm spitting everywhere already. Hotter than the afterlife pickles.
See, this is the stuff he does. He'll actually drink the juice. He'll go 5 minutes without taking a drink and stuff.
Whew.
That's crazy.
I'm the only person with these right now.
He's hardcore.
Instant rush. These ones are hot. These ones are really, really hot. This is probably one of the hottest things I've had. I'm probably close to a 9 right now, and it's still building. I can feel the drool coming on. I'm excited to see some other people try these. It's got a solid burn. Super hot pickles. Thanks Texas Hot Stuff. I appreciate it. Kind of.
I like hot stuff.
15 grams
Not that hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you try one?
What's that?
Would you try one?
I would not, but I used to love eating hot wings, and just the hotter the better. And we used to.
If you would try one, I would get a bag of those and have you do it live on our channel.
I can't do that. I can't handle it anymore. So there'd be no. I mean, I'd be on the way to the hospital.
You'd be a new man in the morning.
Oh yeah, I'd lose some weight, that's for sure. But it's funny because I remember back in the 90s, my ex-wife and I, we would get these hot wings, and we get them every night, and they kept on getting better and better and better. And so we ordered them every single night, and I think it was like 9:45 or 10:45. We would get them at the same time every night, and so I walked into the bar. We got them from the bar, and I walked into the bar for happy hour, and the waitress said, she goes, "Aren't our wings hot enough for you?" And I'm like, no, they're getting better and better. We keep on ordering them because they keep on getting better. And she's like, the chef's pissed off at you because you order them like 10 minutes before closing time. And I thought closing time was like 2 hours later. I didn't realize. I wouldn't have done that to the chef.
Yeah, you would.
I was ordering them every time. And so he kept on making them hotter and hotter for us every time. So we quit ordering them. Finally, he just dumped straight hot sauce in there. We just kept on going to get them. And so when she told us, then I was like, oh, so we ordered earlier, but it was funny. They were so good, but yeah, I just can't take it anymore. My stomach can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, if you douse them in enough ranch and blue cheese, they'll be good.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so here we go. Let's go with the next up. Let's see. Sorry about that.
So these are modified mufflers. I know I showed a video last week of this, but I just think these are the coolest things. I actually want to order some of these from these guys to see how they are because they look pretty spectacular. They would really deck out your unit. It's like putting new wheels on a car.
So this is more cosmetic, or is it actually improving performance?
It's performance. So the idea with the modified mufflers is airflow. So if you have better airflow, your saw is going to get more performance. I mean, you can go ahead and port your saw and stuff like that, but if you don't have better airflow, it's not going to function as well as it would if you do have the airflow.
So you talk about porting the saw to get better performance on it. Why don't the manufacturers just have them ported out right from the start and have them?
Well, it's probably emissions. If you look at the emission standards and stuff, they have to follow. So like if you look at like Africa, Steel has different line of saws for Africa because they have different emissions than America. And all these different countries, they all have their certain standards. So they got to work within those confines to produce products. That's why the products keep getting cheaper and cheaper, because you can't do the stuff that you used to be able to do with this. The EPA won't let you.
It'd be kind of cool to try and get saws that are produced in other countries and do comparisons to the saws that are made in the United States and set them side by side. See.
Yeah, I want to buy some of those. So like the African saws, I think they're 760 saw. They look like the old school Steel 08s. They look pretty cool. I wanted to buy one of those, but it's like, I think it's like $1,500 or $2,000 to buy one off of eBay and have it set here. And it wasn't that cool to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm throwing down that kind of money, I would buy something that's actually vintage and redo it or something like that.
Okay. See, did we already get this one here? Oh, yep, we just did that one. Okay.
You were asking about battery power. This is what I think when I see notice the high volume of leaves.
Notice the what?
Notice the high volume of leaves that he's moving on his yard.
So is this supposed to be a promotional video or what?
Yeah, this is right off Ryobi's website. I started laughing when I saw it because, I mean, if you were trying to promote a video on how powerful your blower is and how functional it is, wouldn't you have like these massive piles of leaves to blow around? Dude's got like 200 leaves in a little tiny pile. He's moving around with this battery powered blower. It's like, that's why, you know, your average guy doesn't take that stuff seriously. It's like, I don't know. I just laughed when I saw it. I thought it was pretty funny. I laughed even harder when I saw it.
Damn, look at that.
I honestly need that.
So this is like a legit product from Ryobi.
Yeah, legitimately dorky. I mean, if you want to be the biggest dork in your neighborhood, then go out there with one of these and start trimming your hedges. I mean, there's probably going to be like an 80-year-old guy laughing at you if he sees you running this. In theory, like, yeah, great. I don't have to bend over and clean stuff up. But, like, seriously, who would actually run this? I wouldn't.
And is it really going to catch anything? Very much.
You see some of the stuff on the ground.
Right.
Like, you make one pass and you got to stop and you got to go empty it. It's not really effective. Like, it's going to slow you down and take forever. I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, that's just a dumb idea. I don't know why somebody even came up with it. But you know what? There's a lot of people that probably go out to, you know, your Home Depot and stuff like that and buy this. And that's sad. It's really sad.
So BC says I have an 08S.
Yeah, I have an 08 as well. So that's the old school chainsaw that I was referring to. Yeah, the 08s and the 760 saws, like I mean, obviously the power in the saws are different, but if you look at the case and stuff, the way it's designed with like the old style fins and the recoil system and stuff, it's pretty similar. So they're cool looking saws.
And Jess says those mufflers are as much performance as bling. Get Can-N to create a low restriction air filter. See them at the steel logger competition shows.
Yeah, it's really been a big thing the last few years. People doing modifications, so.
And then he just commented, never seen the catch basket on even the gas machines.
It's probably gonna offend people, but yeah, manly men don't. Manly men don't need a little fiber basket on the side of their hedge trimmer. They use a freaking garden rake. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, BC, it's a romance saw. All right. Okay, so let's try to get a couple more. Yeah. Oh, I did that wrong. Definitely did it wrong. All right. So bring up number 11.
$100 90cc Chinese clone saw.
So yeah, these are the clones that guys talk about. The Farmer Tech ones, they were orange. I think they switched a lot of that Holtz Pharma stuff over to blue now. But they looked pretty much identical to steel and Husqvarna, depending on which model you got. But closer inspection, there's obviously quality issues, you know, plastic and, you know, the longevity of certain parts in there. It's not the same quality standards, same material and stuff that you'll get on a steel or Husqvarna saw, obviously. But for $300, you know, what do you expect? So these saws, they basically sell them as kits, which is like the whole pile of parts and everything. And then the saws are pretty much only as good as the person putting them together. So the quality, again, you got overpours on metals. Certain holes might not be drilled out all the way or aligned right, or all that good stuff. And who's ever putting the saw together has to clean that stuff up and do a good job. Otherwise, you can have a crappy running saw. I mean, a lot of them, I think they're using Walbro carburetors, so Walbro's good, but a lot of the other parts just junk. I mean, the chains aren't going to last as long as a Steel or Husqvarna chain. They're not as good. I've seen them before. I've personally used them before. But $300, you get a lot of guys that dream and drool of Steel or Husqvarna, and they don't have the money. So this is what they got to do to have a saw. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but yeah, you get what you pay for. So I've never had anybody say I've had my Chinese clone saw for 10 years and it runs great, but I mean, it is what it is. So it's the Temu version of chainsaws.
Do you have those come into the shop for repair?
No, because people know that I won't work on them. I don't want to mess with that stuff. And, I like Steel. I like Husqvarna. I want to stick to those brands. I'm just not a fan of the Chinese stuff that they keep trying to steal everybody's ideas and copycat stuff. And I don't like that whole situation there. So I don't want to promote it by fixing stuff up. If you want to buy it, then buy it and have fun fixing it on your own. I guess it's not my thing. I got a little bit of a standard in the shop if I'm going to put my time into it that, doesn't matter if I get paid the same to work on those. I still don't want to mess with them.
Okay. All right. Should we move on to the tool of the day here?
Go for it. So this is actually a real video. So yeah, real video. It isn't staged. I went to their page and I was looking through the other videos and this is legit how they do stuff. And all you'd have to do is get your push mower and a bagger, and you could knock that all down and not have two guys standing there with a tarp. That was just the dumbest thing that I had ever seen. This is the biggest complete waste of manpower there ever was. I don't understand. I've watched it a bunch of times and I still do not understand the purpose of doing that. Maybe you've got some insight.
I would say the bagger and the mower works there. It's to sit there and hold it up. That seems like a lot of extra work. And
like the Three Stooges out there mowing a lawn.
Yeah. And you're still gonna have to clean up stuff along the side of the curb anyway. So
yeah, they probably got some other fancy way of blowing everything off. They probably got a broom or something,
That's crazy.
You can tell it's in a foreign country because the way the cars are and their signage and stuff. I don't know where it's from and the lettering. Maybe Russia or Czech Republic or one of those areas. I don't know.
Yeah. So, all right, that's our videos for the day. So we'll be working on some more for next week. And do you have anything else to add? Do you want to do?
No, I think I got most of the videos. Like I said, I'll drop a full form video of that 500i calibration and that whole process that I go through on the computer. You don't need to have the MDG1 to be able to work on steel stuff. It just helps you through that repair process a little bit. I rarely use it. Pretty much the only time I use it is on the 500i's, to be honest with you. But it's an expensive tool, and if you're a dealer, you got to have one. So it's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, look for that video. I did another video I'm working on is a 435 top handle chainsaw that dropped out of a tree like 20 or 30 feet. If you're familiar with that saw, the handle assembly is the fuel tank too, and the fuel tank had a hole in it about the size of my fingernail, so it wouldn't hold fuel at all, and there wasn't really any way to fix it. So I bought a new handle and put that on there for them, and that's a little bit of a pain. There's a lot of stuff that you have to take off if you've ever worked on that before. So that one's pretty much a solid hour repair on there, but got that done, and then got a couple other chainsaws in the shop, so I'll show those videos next week.
All right, that sounds good. BC says I only work on steel and Husqvarna. So, yeah, I think that's probably going to be a fairly common theme.
Yeah, that's what I do. Every once in a while I get Echo. They don't really sell a lot of Echo around here, so I don't see it. But just name brands is pretty much what I stick with. I won't mess with the stuff at the big box stores, the off brands or the like Ryobi stuff. I have no desire to tinker around with that. So because none of the parts are going to be interchangeable for steel or Husqvarna, and then you just go down a big rabbit hole, wasting a bunch of time going online trying to find parts, and it isn't worth my time to do that. So
Yeah, and then so let's talk about a little bit about our consignment auctions that are going to be coming up too. We're getting ready to do our first auction run. It's a high bid auction, so if you guys know what that is, we'll be selling on high bid, and there'll probably be, it's a lot of estate stuff, but we're going to be doing other things, and Shawn, you're talking about actually putting some tools on there too, right?
yeah, I can put some used chainsaws and stuff on there, stuff that I rebuilt, and see how that stuff goes. But I think we'll probably make a separate channel for that, and then we can do some of the auctions. Just go through, do some videos, the inventory that we have, and then also, when the sale's done, just maybe go through and show you guys what some of the prices went for on different things, and that whole process. It should be interesting. You talked about maybe having some live camera feeds up there too.
Mm-hmm.
When we have a bunch of traffic, on pickup days and different stuff like that, it might get interesting, some of the characters that show up to buy stuff. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there will be some entertaining moments there, and then probably some just regular business moments. But hey, Chris popped in and says, "What's going on, everyone?" Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining
how you
us.
doing, Chris?
And then Jeff says, "I haven't seen any of these gray market machines myself. The price points are cost prohibitive to fix."
Yeah. One thing I did want to talk about, so I did create a separate website. It's going to be my Shopify account. So I'm going to put merch on there for our channel, and then merch for other stuff. So I'm in the process of building it out. The website's going to be AMG Equipment Pro. So again, AMG Equipment Pro. I'll have shirts on there. We'll have different merchandise. But I'm in the infant stages of it. So the only thing I have on there right now is the shop manual that I put together. I told you guys a couple months ago I was building a shop manual. So I do have that on there for sale. It goes step by step through all my process of how I fix stuff and how I troubleshoot different things. So if you guys are new to this business or want to learn some of my tricks, that's available for purchase on there right now. I'm working with a designer, and we're going to get some really cool decals and stuff for shirts, and once we get that put together, we'll get the shirts up there, Wrench and Ramble shirts you guys can buy, and then of course AMG stuff, and then I'm going to have some different designs, some cool stuff, maybe like a bald head type thing on some of the shirts, different things like that. So we can sell toupees on there.
There we go.
If there's anything cool that you guys want to see on there, just let us know, and we'll try to find little way to do our flavor of whatever you guys want. So that's going to be a work in progress. I built the site and we're putting it together, but yeah, getting the merchandise up there, we're gonna do that as we go along. I guarantee you there'll be definitely stuff you guys can buy for Christmas gifts. So that's about as fast as we're working on it.
All right. So, and then on that website, it's amgequipmentpro.com, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and I went on to Fiverr the other day and I talked to graphic designer, and he's going to take the logo that we have for AMG and he's going to come up with some custom designs of the character doing some cool stuff with trees and different things, and we're just going to build that out from there. And then I do have a hot press, so we can make shirts up custom for whatever size you guys need, and then we'll have different color combinations for that stuff as well. And then I got to find a source for getting some coffee mugs and tumblers and some cool stuff like that. But we'll find some cool stuff and put it on there. So just keep an eye on that, and I'll let you guys know on my videos, or we'll do it on the Wrench and Ramble show when we get some new gear, and talk Kirk into wearing some of the shirts and stuff we have too, especially when he's walking to his house from his car. So stuff like that.
I do have to, when we get off, I have to walk to go get the Jaguar to drive it the rest of the way home to get in the garage. So
you better get a headlight for your head or something, so that way if you get down there and it doesn't work, then they'll at least see you in the road.
yeah, it'll be fine. So Chris asked about, are you rebuilding that 064 Magnum?
Yeah, so that customer decided that he didn't want to put the money into it. But I did 2 days later, somebody else came in with a 064 Magnum. I haven't had a chance to look at that one yet. He said he couldn't get it started. So I do have a different 064 Magnum on my desk. That'll probably be Monday or Tuesday. I'll start working on that one. I got to get those 500 eyes squared away. But yeah, we'll definitely have that. Hats, yes, we're going to have hats on there. So we're going to have all sorts of stuff. It's just going to take a little time because we got a lot of irons in the fire, as they say, between the resale that we're doing on the high bids and daily life doing the shop, and then everything else in between. And of course, I got a family, and that takes time too. So
yeah,
but
yeah, Chris, it's not a 12, it's a 6. It's a Vandenpla 84. But
yep. So all I got for tonight. And yeah, just look for some videos to drop. I'll see if I have time tomorrow to put some stuff together. Otherwise, next week. And hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next Saturday night, roughly around 9 o'clock. That's what we shoot for, anyways. So.
Yep. Okay. So we'll see you at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. And hey, thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.